While the digital age has offered us a remarkable amount of information, a remarkable platform for expression and for access to information, it's also provided governments and private parties with a remarkable amount of access to our own private lives. The standard for freedom of expression is found in the language of Article 19, certainly not in the First Amendment. The United States is a party to it, and 167 other states are parties to it. Everyone shall have the right to hold opinions without interference. Everyone shall have the right to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas of all kinds. It's a provision that's really designed, I think, for the digital age. Article 19 sets up your right, and it sets up the legitimate restrictions on it. The New York Times publishes all over the world. The printer in Thailand was given the version to print out here on your left. When it got printed, instead you got this blank space. And that's very obviously an interference with the right of access to information. Governments are increasingly putting pressure on social media sites. They're going to them and saying, we have restrictions in our country and you have to take down content. And you can see that the #1 government requesting takedowns from Twitter is Turkey. 23% is the number of compliance. But you can also see that Turkey has reported nearly 15,000 accounts. Countries are also increasingly just taking down the internet altogether. One of the senior security officials in Tajikistan admitted that in the context of public protest, they're bringing down text messaging. Increasingly, states are using surveillance in order to restrict freedom of expression. We're subject to it in our emails. Yahoo is alleged to have basically created software that enables it to scan all incoming emails and share any relevant emails with the NSA. There are all sorts of reasons why surveillance might curtail your very willingness to seek and receive information. These countries around the world are purchasing this software and using it in order to spy on activists. Terrorist organizations are using the internet for extremist purposes. What that's meant is that governments are restricting information that they believe has extremist elements in it. The problem is, what is extremism? The internet basically today is governed by a variety of stakeholders. There are some governments out there that want to see that model be really more about government management of the internet, but this is the direction that we need to really guard against. What do we do in the face of surveillance, of censorship, of uncertainty? Pay attention to global human rights norms. Article 19, Article 17, which protects privacy. We're not really able to have a conversation globally unless we know what the language of human rights is. Think about legal and political strategies. There's the political institutions of the UN system, right? Things like the General Assembly and the Human Rights Council. Real access for activists, for individuals around the world to engage. And then finally, of course, there's public campaigning. I think we should be putting pressure on our governments to really respond when the internet or activists or others are under digital attack anywhere in the world.